Hi, welcome back. My name is Cole.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is CTRL-AC.
CTRL-AC is the podcast where we talk about saving Gen Z. There's a chance. There's a chance that this generation may very well be saved by one piece of legislative action. That's all it takes.
Just one.
We're both parts of, members of Gen Z.
Yes.
And we can attest to the fact that we're doomed.
I'd say me and you will be all right.
I'd
say the rest of the generation is doomed.
The rest of us are doomed, especially the prominent TikTokers who maybe know more.
Yeah.
Because TikTok could very well be banned, which we'll get to. Starting off, my M2 MacBook Air is now extinct. Apple has refreshed the MacBook Air with the M3 chip. And on to the next story. So it got the M3 chip, which we saw a long time ago.
In the pros pros, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 nanometer chip, faster than M2. They compared it more to M1 in the newsroom post, because if they just compare it to M2, then
it's like a 15% overall increase?
Slightly faster here, slightly faster there.
Right.
Not a big upgrade.
It has an upgraded Wi-Fi chip, so that probably includes Bluetooth too, so you might have some
just future-proofing stuff.
Yeah.
You're not going to notice it out of the box. So same MacBook Air that we know and love, that I've been using the M2 MacBook Air for 2 years now. It is still an exceptionally fantastic computer. Like, just a really, really good laptop. I think it's is it the best laptop for $1,000?
I honestly think that
is.
because you can get the M1 Pro for $1,000.
Oh, like refurbished or
No, just you can get them from Amazon, brand new, $1,000.
an M3 Pro for
M1 Pro
for $1,000?
Yeah, I think they've dropped down to $1,000. If it's not Amazon, it's like Best Buy or something. But they run promotions all the time. I don't think it's all the time, but they run deals and sales and stuff.
Used, it's $1,200.
Right, but they run deals and stuff to where it drops.
Yeah, that pricing tier situation, which we'll get to in just a second, is kind of like the one thing that harms, especially the 15-inch version of this computer. But it's the same M3 chip that we saw a couple months ago, but in the M2 MacBook Air body. They have a whole section of the newsroom post that says it's the world's best consumer laptop for AI, which
this
is something
is your laptop?
Yes. The M3 MacBook Air,
MacBook Air,
which is something they've never said before. They've never talked about AI in their computer, which kind of only leads me to believe that this dub, and this has already been leaked, is going to be like really heavily AI focused. They said generative AI to Siri, which would just be insane.
It would be better, 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Anything is better than Siri currently.
I cannot wait to see Apple's on-device AI. And I don't know what kind
on-device in air quotes.
Oh, it 100% will be. With the neural engine stuff and all the on-device stuff that it does now. Because Siri runs on-device currently.
Yeah.
The non-internet requiring requests.
Like 2 times 17.5.
Yeah, or turn off airplane mode.
Right.
Like it doesn't have to send that to the cloud.
Because it's just too much for you to swipe down from the top right and press a button.
Yeah, I never understood the turn off Wi-Fi Siri.
Yeah,
But no, actually I do. Because when you turn off Wi-Fi and Control Center, it's just for a day. And it turns back on. So they said AI in the newsroom post. That's a whole episode we could do. Like they actually said MacBook Air can also run optimized AI models, including LLMs and diffusion models for image generation locally with great performance, which is a big deal. So I don't know what kind of AI on device stuff they're talking about. I would assume it's more than just the AI cutout feature in photos that we got.
that it does work really well though.
That's using AI, right? On device image processing.
I think so.
AI stuff. Yeah. So your cutout images will be faster. But they also said in the keynote, MacBook Air supports cloud-based solutions, enabling users to run powerful productivity and creative apps that tap into the power of AI, such as Microsoft Copilot for 365, Canva, and Adobe Firefly, which are all things a school Chromebook can do. They literally just said it can connect to the internet and do online apps, web apps. So great stuff here. So this will start at $1099 with M3.
So that's what their price was for the M1 Air, right? Or M2 Air, right?
Yes.
Same as other. Yeah.
$1099. And then $999 for students. And then the 15-inch starts at $1,300. They're keeping the M2 MacBook Air around for $999.
Okay.
So they're keeping mine for $999, which means the M1 MacBook Air with the wedge
It's gone.
is dead.
It's gone
And
completely.
so is the wedge shape forever.
Wow. Well, forever, maybe.
Pretty
Hopefully.
iconic era
Hopefully
of the
forever.
MacBook. I loved the slope keyboard.
Really?
Yeah, because it was a slight incline. So it was nicer to type on. But the unibody design we have now looks way cleaner.
Looks 1,000 times better.
Especially yours on the 14-inch Pro.
I love it.
Like it looks fantastic. But I honestly think they should have put the M1 MacBook Air at like $790. Could you imagine if they put that at $799?
That would be like the best budget laptop you can buy.
Yeah. $799 would have been crazy.
But I mean, they can't really keep production lines of a 3-generational computer at that point.
They can't if it sells that much though, and I think it would.
But their margins just wouldn't be as well as, because they're going to sell the same amount of those either way. The M2
Yeah,
Airs.
because it's the same price.
Right. So if $899 for students for an M2 Air,
Yeah.
that's $900
That's
for
a
one of the
really
best
good deal.
laptops you can buy is unbeatable.
And you get a $200 gift card if you do the education deal during their promotional back to school thing. So you get that's a
AirPods
really
and
good
a
deal.
laptop for $800.
And you don't
$900.
just get a laptop, you get like one of the best laptops.
You get the laptop.
Yeah.
The M2 Air changed like how Apple did everything. The M1 MacBook Pro was still the wedge.
Yeah.
The M1 Air,
I say your computer changed everything. The 14-inch MacBook Pro.
I guess, yeah, because the Pro did come before the M2. But because the M2 was a pretty big bump from the M1.
And GPU, I guess, but overall it was just kind of, it's so hard because M1 was so drastic.
Yeah.
Everything after is just minor stuff.
It's going to be like the Apple with the camera improvements. It's just kind of, it'll get better like a little bit, and then they'll have a big jump, and then it'll get better a little bit.
If you look at M3, it's not that big of a jump.
Right.
But if you zoom out, it is still ridiculously, like it's not big of a jump.
Quad core i7 2.3 gigahertz versus Apple M3. Like
There's not much that can rival an M3 for that price, if anything. So it's still a fantastic deal. It's the best laptop for students. I am a student.
For sure.
I love it. My battery life is still great after 2 years of like intense everyday usage.
Like I've been using my MacBook for about a year and a half now, and my battery life I think is at like 82, 80, 91.
Is it really?
91. And I drain my battery almost every day.
Yeah.
But I am putting heavy load on my laptop 3 out of 5 days of the week.
I kind of have a routine where I can charge my laptop and then go 2 days of using it and then charge it again. So it still lasts me 2 days of like 3 to 4 hours every day.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's very nice to have.
Occasionally I'll have a free hour and a half or something at school, and I'll play some game on Steam. And most games that are on Steam are very resource intensive because most of the ones that I play are fully AAA titles.
Right.
Or higher dependency indie games, right? So something like Black Ops 3, that's going to heavily drain my battery, but I'm running it at 120 FPS constant.
Right.
Ultra settings.
And even like singling out the performance cores on that, your battery is still pretty good.
Right. And I can get my battery down to like 40% and have it last from 9 a.m. to 4:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
If I'm being light on it.
So can I.
Like
fantastic.
Yeah. Very rarely does my laptop die while I'm at school.
Has it ever?
A
From
couple
a
times.
full charge?
A couple times. But those are days where I'm not doing anything in class or anything, and I'm just on it.
Doing intensive stuff though.
Right. Running it at like max fan speed, max performance, everything's at like 90 to 100%
If you're just
utilization.
doing Chrome tabs.
Oh yeah,
you
it'll
got
last 2-3 days.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to try a Windows laptop and use that
Windows
in my
Modern
workflow
Standby.
somehow, but yeah, I
Still
just
have not fixed that.
cannot get past the sub 6 hour battery life
Four
on
and a
most
half.
Windows. I mean, like if you get an XPS, it's going to be fairly good. But
Right, but those also have very large batteries. My friend at school has an older Dell, and at Windows 10, whatever, which has worse Windows Modern Standby than Windows 11. And he was talking to me the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I charged my computer fully, shut it down, went and grabbed it in the morning. It was dead. Like,
shut it down fully?
Shut it down.
How?
He might have like put it into hibernate or something
Oh,
and not shut down. But even still on sleep, I close my MacBook. It's not going to drain the battery maybe 2-3% over a couple days.
right. And I seriously take that for granted.
Yeah,
Just how good this battery life is.
you can sit in your bag overnight, not need to plug it in. If
Yeah.
you leave a Windows laptop with just the lid closed overnight, it's still running at all utilization. It's like you didn't even close the lid. You're just sitting there.
Last year, I would unplug my laptop at like 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd go to bed. And at 10 o'clock the next morning, 12 hours later, I'd open it.
Same
It's at
percentage.
100%.
Yeah,
Very nice to have.
very.
It also means I can just leave my MagSafe cable routed up through my desk,
So you don't have to
all in
take
place,
it.
and
Yeah.
I never have to take it.
Unless
I
you
have
go
a
on, like, a trip or
USB-C cable
something.
in my bag,
Yeah, same.
just like for safety.
Mm-hmm.
For my phone too, because it's USB-C.
Yeah, same.
With
With our
titanium.
space grade titanium.
But I don't need to bring my MagSafe cable because I don't need to charge my laptop. There's one problem with this computer though, as good as it is, and it's the same problem that mine has. It starts with 8 gigs of RAM
Yep.
and 256 gigs of storage.
8 gigs of RAM should not be a standard anymore.
I have a hot take on that.
Okay.
The storage first, 256. I still have a hot take on that too. 256 gigs of storage for me is nowhere near enough.
Right, but you also edit video and audio in
True.
high bitrate files.
I have an M2 MacBook Air. I have 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. I do not have enough storage.
Right.
That is a problem. I have a 1 terabyte Samsung T7, I think, that I use for all the long-term storage stuff. Because 256 gigs just does not, that's not cutting it.
But for a student who's probably not downloading anything but applications,
Right.
256 gigs is plenty because if you're a student, you have some kind of cloud storage, Google Drive, whatever your school uses, OneDrive, iCloud.
Right.
You have some sort of cloud storage service.
I look at the 256 gigs of storage, and to me, that looks low. But then my parents have a Mac Mini, M2 Mac Mini with 256 gigs of storage.
Right.
We keep all of our like family photos on a SSD.
Yeah.
So none of it's really on the computer. And my parents aren't like full-time video creators.
Right.
So they don't have a ton of 4K video files on there. So I'll click on the clean my Mac thing and it's like 160 gigs available.
Right.
And they're not even close.
Yeah. And what's taking that up is Mac OS and applications and some files maybe.
Right. I mean, you have like paper files and stuff,
Like
but
PDFs, those are kilobytes.
right. So I think 256 gigs, believe it or not, is okay for a normal person.
For somebody who's buying an
Especially-
$800 laptop, $900 laptop
yeah, with education deal.
with the education deal, that's plenty for what you're getting.
I'm not saying that it should come with this though.
No,
I do think it
absolutely
should come
not.
with more for the money.
Especially for how much you're paying for it too, because their
Right.
margins are like what, like 1,000%.
Yeah.
They make so much money
But
on
you
their
shouldn't
computers.
not buy this laptop just like if you're a student.
Right. And worst case scenario, if you need extra storage, external SSDs are like $60.
Yeah.
Or if you want like for 500 gigs, right? $60 for 500 gig SSD. If you want to go the DIY route, you buy a case for like $10 that gives you
Because the
USB-C.
people buying the M2 MacBook Air.
Right. But still, like
Yeah.
$10 and then a $50 terabyte SSD, $60 and you get a terabyte SSD, super slim, little
Yeah.
compact thing, slide in your pocket or backpack. Easy.
8 gigs of RAM is also a crime. at this price.
I actually don't think 8 gigs is enough, even for Chrome use. Because
Really?
you will notice in opening tabs, opening Gmail, opening YouTube, that 8 gigs is significantly slower than 16 gigs.
But unified memory on M3 is so good.
That is incredible, but you can and will notice a difference.
It
Between
is
8
equivalent to
and
16 gigs on a Windows PC. 100%.
Maybe DDR4. DDR5 has gotten incredibly quick. It's pretty much as fast as unified.
I have a... We bring up our phones every single episode. On my 15 Pro Max.
With the Space Gray Titanium.
We've discussed the spec sheet at length. I have 8 gigs of RAM, and that phone will be on par with or outperform an S24 Ultra with significantly more RAM.
Right. The S24 is like what, 12 or 18 or 24 gigs, right?
It's 16.
Is it 16?
S24 RAM. Does it go up to 16? 12.
Hasn't Apple had 8 gigs of RAM in all their devices for like years?
They had 6 for a long time.
I know it was 6 until like what, the 10, right?
No, it was 6 up until 14.
Really?
Oh, up until 15. Because the 15 Pro is the first one to have 8 gigs.
Is it? I thought it was
I want to
13.
say 11 through 14 is 6.
And then before that's 4.
Right. I said that was the only problem with this computer. There is one more, and it's only if you start upgrading it. If you buy the base model, you're fine. Soon as you start to upgrade it, I'll show you what happens. So let's say you're like us and you think these specs are not cutting it for 2024. So you click on the base spec 13-inch MacBook Air, and you get 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage.
Yeah.
2 upgrades. You are sitting pretty at $14.99. For $15.99, for $100 more, you can get a 14-inch M3 MacBook Pro with the same processor, less RAM. It's only 8 gigs, but 512 gigs of storage. So you lose the RAM, but you gain a significantly better screen, which is worth it just for that screen alone, and ports, and thermal performance because of a fan, and all that stuff. So it's once you start upgrading the MacBook Air, you hit right into that price range of MacBook Pro, and then it gets all gray.
Yeah.
But if you're hanging out with the base model, it is a fantastic computer.
You know, it was going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
The Apple Car. So it has been rumored for pretty much
Forever.
Forever.
As long as I can remember.
That Apple is going to create a car. Electric, obviously.
Project Titan.
Yep.
The Apple Car.
And they have patents for it. Like there were patents filed for specific features on a car, right?
Yeah.
$10 billion in R&D.
Over the course of
Forever.
more than a decade. And now it's canceled.
And it's gone.
So they announced Project Titan is dead. The engineers who were working on the car are going to be put into like AI sections of the company.
Imagine just like designing a 17-inch alloy wheel and you're like, hey, you're doing AI now.
But what about the car?
Oh, don't worry about that.
You know, there is a prototype somewhere like below Tim Cook's office. Maybe in Tim Cook's office.
It's like Tim Cook's office is the prototype. His desk is
what
actually
if he
a
just
transformer.
drives an Apple car to work?
It's just like badge as a
never
Corolla.
seen him. They have like a boring tunnel under the thing, and that's where he drives it. So you may start to ask, why did this get canceled? So the New York Times has a report on this, and they said this. Mr. Ive, referring to Johnny Ive, the former designer, and his team of designers drew concepts for a car that would look like a European minivan.
I changed all thoughts about this
If
car.
we just stop right there. Such as the Fiat Multipla 600. So Google Fiat Multipla 600. That is what the Apple car was rumored to resemble.
I take it back. I'm glad they canceled it.
We were going to get an Apple minivan. Imagine Tim Cook driving into Apple Park in the solid white minivan.
I don't understand why they wouldn't do a Roadster style.
You'd think.
Or like a GT car or something.
Okay, and then we get to this. the greatest paragraph ever written in the history of journalism, the history of news. One day in the fall of 2015, Mr. Ive and Mr. Cook met at the project's headquarters in Sunnyvale, California, for a demonstration of how the car might work. Now, pause. The car was rumored to be Siri controlled.
What?
The car was rumored to not have a steering wheel and not have pedals. The car was rumored to be Siri controlled. Do you understand why it was canceled now?
That explains.
Hey Siri, stop the car as you smash into a building.
Accelerating faster.
I don't even know how that would work. Hey Siri, we missed our exit. And it just swerves over real hard.
It's just like hard rights.
Okay, so we go back to the article. For a demonstration of how the car might work. The two men sank into the seats of a cabin-like interior. So they're Johnny Ive and Tim Cook are sitting in a fake Apple car. Outside, a voice actor read from a script of what Siri would say as the men zoomed down the road in the imaginary car. Mr. Ive asked Siri what restaurant they passed, and the actor read an answer, said the two people familiar with the demonstration. The mental image of that, of Johnny Ive and Tim Cook in a fake car, pretending to use Siri, and some guy pretending to be the voice of Siri.
He's just talking.
That is why it was canceled.
Yeah.
They could not handle the embarrassment, and they canceled the project. That is a incredibly hilarious situation.
That might
to
be
imagine.
the funniest paragraph I've heard.
Imagine walking into a room, and Tim Cook and Johnny Ive are just sitting on a couch that they're pretending is a car, and some guy's just pretending to be
No,
Siri.
it's just like two Sparco racing seats just like sitting on the floor in a dark room.
Like you said, if Apple made like a Roadster,
Yeah, like
Apple sports car.
Grand Touring car.
yeah, with their own next-gen CarPlay, put Siri in it if you want.
Is that even like a real dubbed term, or did we just call it that?
They called it that.
Did they? I
Next
thought
gen
we did
CarPlay.
that.
But they did not. Instead of a Roadster, they wanted to do a minivan, and now we will never see it. Unless we can somehow get Tim Cook to show us the photo of this thing.
Did you know there's actually an Apple car on the track in Cars?
Oh, yeah, the white and black one.
It's like silver and white.
Yeah. That would have been fun. Have you seen all the CGI things of it charging with MagSafe and stuff? There have been so many of those. Well, we didn't get an Apple car Roadster. We are getting the Tesla Roadster,
Which is ridiculous. I think we went in a little bit on it on one of our previous episodes.
but not in the detail he's shared here.
Yeah.
So Elon got tweeting again.
Like he does.
And on February 27th, he said, "Tonight we radically increased the design goals for the new Tesla Roadster. There will never be another car like this, if you could even call it a car." And then in follow-up tweets, he said, "Tesla SpaceX collab. Production design complete and unveil at the end of this year, aiming to ship next year." So, Roadster this year, shipping next year.
So we're gonna get
said
it.
Elon on Twitter.
Yep.
Which means unveil, 2030?
2030, 2040.
2040. Give it 10 or 12 years. And then he said, "I think it has a shot at being the most mind-blowing product demo of all time."
To be fair, he leaked the Roadster, a decade ago?
They fully unveiled it, and they said 2020.
That's right. Yeah.
And, pandemic happened.
Right.
So
shut down stuff.
Give
that
them
makes
some
sense.
grace.
Yeah.
2021. That passed. So did 22. So did 23. We'll get it at the end of this year. Says Elon on Twitter, which means most likely not.
It is almost believable that we might get it at the end of this year. Shipping next year?
It's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
They have bigger concerns. The Model Y was the 4th best-selling car in America.
Mm-hmm.
That is where their attention should be.
Did you see the Cybertruck's rusting?
I saw reports of that, yeah. Anti-rust thing on your stainless steel. So Elon says the Roadster is going to be greatest product demo in history. He said a couple of years ago that it will have a bunch of rocket thrusters around the car that will help with braking, cornering, acceleration, all that good stuff. So Sawyer Merritt asks on Twitter, targeting a 0 to 60 time of around 1 second with the fastest spec. Please tell us this machine is coming soon. Elon replies, 0 to 60 miles an hour in less than 1 second. And that's the least interesting part. The fastest car we've been in is a Model S P100D. 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds, which was ridiculous.
And there are very few cars that can do it quicker.
Right. It's like street legal buyable cars. It's Rimac Navara, 911 Turbo S. What's 765 LT? That's 2.7. That's even too slow. Like it's so few cars can even do 2 seconds.
Because the Rimac is 1.9, right?
Right. Dodge Demon 170. Prepped surface, drag tires, E85, perfect conditions, 1.7. For sub 1 second isn't even imaginable.
Like, and the time it takes the Demon to get to 30 miles an hour ish.
Yeah.
It'll be at 60.
Your 0 to 100 would be 2 seconds. That's just insane speed. If you launch control at a red light, in 2 seconds, you're at 100 miles an hour.
But I'm assuming it's going to be on a track in perfect conditions. With drag tires, it's going to be at sub 1 second.
Right. Here's the other thing, too. That's with the SpaceX rocket thruster thing.
Right.
Obvious, laws of rocket thrusters tell us you can't always have rocket thrusters on. They have to be fueled by something.
Right.
So if you have these giant compressed air tanks in the back of your Roadster,
it'd be hydrogen because hydrogen is because air isn't combustible.
But that is not an unlimited resource.
Right. It will run out.
So you have to, I'm assuming, there'd be a SpaceX launch mode. It would lower the car, heat the battery, charge up the rocket thrusters, and this would be like
And rocket thrusters don't just turn on. They light and get hot.
Right.
And then they produce thrust.
You couldn't do this at every red light. This is like you sit the car down for 20 minutes.
Right.
Let everything charge, and then pull off the fastest 0 to 60 you'll ever experience.
Drag strip mode.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not something you do every single day.
Well, you could. It'd be expensive, but
You'd get rid of all your hydrogen.
Right.
Like, you'd have to refill your Roadster tanks pretty often.
And I know Toyota and, is it Hyundai? They have hydrogen fueled cars. I know Toyota for sure does.
Yeah.
Like, you can buy a hydrogen car from, hydrogen-powered car. So, I'm assuming similar ecosystem. You just buy the cells, insert them in the thing.
Who knows? He could make it, a proprietary tank standard thing. You buy it from Tesla.
Have to order it.
But I don't think you could get very many launches out of that. Because all of them would have to be active. Because he said it's for braking and cornering too.
Right.
So if you put the car in advanced track mode, it'd have all the thrusters activated. Could you corner faster than a GT3 RS?
Yeah.
If you have rocket thrusters propelling you one way?
Well, they're not propelling you. They're pushing you. They're making sure you don't tip the car and there's no understeer.
Would there be rocket thrusters pointed up to pin you to the ground?
Probably. They'd probably be on a 360 or 280-degree swivel.
So this actually could be faster than a GT3 RS around a track.
Easy.
I can't even. You'll never drive something that fast. No other car is comparable to how fast this car would be.
Oh, for sure. I want to take it around a track. I've taken a GT3 around a track.
Yeah.
And it is a very quick, I drove a Lamborghini and a GT500 around a track. I had to take the corners at 50 to 60. I could take the GT3 RS at over 90. 75 and a hairpin. Which is quick for being a first-time track driver.
But if you just have rockets,
you don't have to brake. Because if you let off the pedal, I'm assuming it would slow you down a little bit.
Because regen.
And it's gonna have cameras, so it's gonna be able to read the track in front of you.
If you just turned, if you were going 100 miles an hour and just turned, and all of the rockets pushed down at max force, and just pinned you to the ground.
Well, it pushed the opposite direction. I'm assuming one would go like whatever the opposite way
Right,
you turn,
right.
and then some down.
But how hard could you turn without the tires just slipping? Because at that point, the last thing holding you back is just the rubber on the tires.
Right, but if you have thrust shoving you straight down.
But it's shoving you down. That may be the cheat code to every record.
Yeah, it's going to be the Roadster.
I can't wait.
Or it's all going to just be marketing. It's going to be like a terrible car that just breaks, and the hydrogen is going to be bad, and the jets are going to break, and the batteries are going to explode.
He said that it will be the most impressive product demo of all time.
Mm-hmm.
People are speculating the SpaceX package is just going to be for the demo, and it won't actually ship.
That would make the most sense.
That's an incredibly...
Maybe they'll make like 10 production runs of it just for like high-end individuals, like millions of dollars.
Like the one they send Jay Leno is going to have the rocket thrusters.
Yeah.
But that's a borderline, like pretty dangerous thing to be selling.
Yeah.
But I will really want to try one.
Like it'll be in a museum. There'll be one in a museum.
Right.
Jay Leno will have one.
But it'll definitely have a number on there. Like number of launches remaining with your rocket thrusters. Before you... Because you can't just do it all the time. You're going to run out of the tank.
Like hydrogen, like a hydrogen level.
Yeah, it's going to tell you you can do 3 launches left until the rockets are done. Mm-hmm. And you have to go refill your Tesla, which is kind of funny.
Imagine it just uses gas. Like the jets, they like run on E85.
We'll see it at the end of this year. If Roadster comes out, Marquez and Andy Sly both have a free one because of their referrals. And so do everyone who's wire transferred Tesla $250,000 for this Roadster and haven't gotten their car yet. So we will definitely see. In the more realistic world of EVs, we have the Rivian R2 that just came out and the Rivian R3. Mm-hmm. So the R2 had been rumored for a long time. That car is out now. It's just a smaller version of the R1S, the big Rivian SUV. And then the R3 is out, which is an even smaller version of the R2. And then the R3X is like a really sporty looking off-road version of the R3. So you have like suburban Tahoe Equinox.
Yes.
Or like, Sequoia Highlander RAV4 for normal car brands.
Yeah.
The R1S, R2, R3. The R2 has a 300-mile range, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
I have a better analogy. Wagoneer, Grand Cherokee, and Cherokee.
Yeah. Big or giant, big, medium. 300-mile range, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. Great-looking Rivian interior. Flashlight in the door, just like the R1S, for $45,000 starting.
Which is not bad at all for a brand new Rivian with pretty respectable specs too.
Very good deal. I can't see how you justify like a Grand Cherokee or a Highlander over this.
Well, I mean, if you're not in the electric ecosystem.
Well, there's that, yeah.
Because like you have to have a house charger, another 10 grand.
But if you're okay with the house charger and stuff, it is hard to find a better...
If you're trying to get into EVs and you want an SUV, this is the way to go.
I would 100% take this car over a Model Y.
Oh, for sure. It looks way better.
It looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. Especially the R3X. It has like a retro design to the back. Mm-hmm. It looks like a toy.
It kind of looks like that Honda that we couldn't see.
The Prologue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. Marquez got to spend time with it. He said the haptics in the steering wheel are really good. I really didn't know a steering wheel could have haptics, but this one does.
They partnered with Sony. That would actually be kind of funny.
But their competition is Mach-E and Model Y. We've both driven Mach-E and Model Y.
Nobody wants a Mach-E.
Right? And a Model Y is a Tesla, and that comes with its own set of pros and cons. Things. So this R1 or this R2 charges with the Tesla charger too.
Yeah.
And it supports Tesla supercharging.
So
I really would not buy a Model Y over
absolutely
this.
Not. So you get the Tesla charger system for your home, and then you can use the superchargers? Yeah. Around wherever you live. and you get a beautiful looking car, high performing car,
Looks better than a Model Y.
looks better than a Model
More
Y, and then
capable.
you can get your Model S Plaid down the road when you start making more money and can afford a $250,000 car and charge it at your house.
Yeah, as an intro to the EV world. This is like there were a surprising amount of people on my Twitter timeline who reserved one of these.
Really?
Andrew Maganelli from Marquez's team reserved one. Max Weinbach reserved one. Like a surprising number of reservation confirmation screenshots were on my timeline.
If I were to start dailying a electric car, this would probably be it for the price.
It'd be great. Like we've said, there are some kinds of cars that are better when made electric. Luxury sedans and big SUVs are one of them.
Yeah, because they're quieter.
Quieter,
And if you want a luxury car, you want it to be quiet.
quiet and smooth and have all the tech and all that. Sports cars, you still want your gas engine.
Right. You want to hear it. You want to enjoy it.
Right.
You want to drive a sports car.
But for your family SUV, this is really for $45K. I really thought it'd be closer to 60. I thought under 60 would be an accomplishment
Yeah.
because R1S is $100,000, and that's not a normal price for a family
Right.
SUV. That's Grand Wagoneer money.
Right. Suburban.
But $45K,
Under 50K for a solid performing EV is amazing.
the other thing is you're not buying any SUV in this price range with a 0 to 60 of under 3 seconds.
Okay, but I mean, also if you're getting a family SUV, you're not launching it, so you
Okay,
don't
but
really need it.
if you have to get the family car, would you not also want the family car to be that? Like, come on.
No, my family
That'd be
car is going to
kinda
be a
fun.
Urus
Why a Urus?
because it says Lamborghini on it, and it's faster than the Audi.
Oh, I thought you said Yaris.
No, Urus.
At first. And I was like, why in the world would you want that? And then I realized you said Urus.
Yaris, like the little Toyota.
The little Toyota thing. I was like, that is the worst possible family car.
Picking up Shoddy in the two-door foreign. It's just the Toyota
The two-door
Yaris.
foreign in question.
But
yeah.
the new Rivians are really good.
I would almost buy this car.
Yeah.
If you don't have more than 2 kids, this is an exceptionally good car.
For sure.
If you have more than 2 kids, there's no third row.
Yeah. And also, if
But-
you have more than 2 kids, you know what you're going to want?
What?
A nice backyard.
You would. If only I knew someone though who had a, company that would make me my dream backyard. I don't know anyone.
Have you heard of the Complete Backyard?
No, what's that?
They're a custom outdoor spa and living space design and build company.
Do they just do spas or can they do like my pool and
They do
cabana?
everything. They work with you every step of the way to build your dream backyard.
That's cool and all, but I wish I could like see it before they do it because I want to know what it looks like.
So actually, they model it and they show you in VR what it'll look like in your yard.
So I can see exactly what every part of it would look
You can
like.
see exactly
before
what
I
it'll
spend
look
the
like.
money. That's cool. How do
Yeah.
I contact them?
For consultation, you can go to thecompletebackyard.com.
Cool, thanks.
No problem. So
Do we even want to talk about this sad story or not?
we just talked about 3 different EVs: Apple Car, Roadster, Rivian.
It is with great sadness that there's one more.
There's one more, and this is absolutely ridiculous. Dodge just decided to get rid of the Charger or Challenger. They
Both
killed
of
him.
them.
Both of them. Actually, no. They killed the gasoline Charger and Challenger. Okay, and they replaced it with a fully electric Dodge Charger that's like a hybrid between a Honda Prelude looking body and a Dodge Charger looking
Does
body.
not look good.
It's. I saw this comment on their post. It said, "I'm gonna put a Hellcat motor in it."
Someone will.
They're gonna gut the electric motor and put a Demon 170 crate in it, and that will be a beautiful car.
Yeah.
But this car specifically has, and they work with Borla, right? It's the Borla active exhaust.
It's really more of an
sound system.
aftermarket sound solution.
That's what I was looking for.
This electric Charger has 2 trims, the RT and the Scat Pack.
Which is
Both
ridiculous
of
that
those
they are,
names carried over.
because the Scat Pack is the 392, and you don't
It's
get
the 6.2 V8. Everyone knows that, but not anymore. And the RT is the 5.7 Hemi, one of the most legendary engines ever created. The 5.7 Hemi. It's in the Ram 1500. It's in the Charger and Challenger. It's been that way for decades. That is no more.
To be fair, this is making about
It's faster.
It's like 300 to 400 horsepower more, but it's electric and has an aftermarket exhaust sound
It's really more of an
solution.
aftermarket sound solution.
Yeah.
So the RT will put out 456 horsepower.
Wait, this is a Challenger.
There's a 2-door and a 4-door variant
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
Charger.
It's literally just a Challenger.
No one is going to call the 2-door Charger a Charger.
No, they should have called it a Challenger. Or
They shouldn't have done it at all.
they're planning a new gas Challenger.
I hope so. I don't know.
They're not just going to abandon the Challenger name, but they did start with the Charger. Their first car, not their first car, but like the car is the 1970 Dodge Charger.
Yeah, so if you're going to ruin the legacy, might as well just bring it full circle.
I honestly would have been more okay with it if they would have named it Challenger.
Just put it on the side.
Yeah, or had it
Just
along.
sell this as well.
But if they had to pick between the Charger or the Challenger. Because the Charger has been around forever.
I like the Charger more. Someone who's driven both, I like the Charger more.
It's less of a boat.
Yes.
And it's a 4-door, so it's
I think it looks kind of better, too.
I agree. I think the wide body on it looks amazing.
Yes. So the RT is 456 horsepower or 496 with a power shot.
Which is what? A little bit more juice from the battery?
You, like many other EVs now, press a button on the wheel and it gives you an extra boost of EV power for a couple seconds and it boosts your horsepower. I don't know. It's like anti-lag then or sport
A
mode.
quote from the company said, "This is not designed to get you 500 miles of range. This is designed to be the ultimate performance muscle car. Until we come out with the Banshee." What is the Banshee?
What is the Banshee?
It's an EV.
Oh, fantastic.
807 horsepower. Oh, it's basically the
that's
Demon.
the Hellcat.
It's the, yeah, Hellcat, yeah.
That's like the big EV. Okay. And then the Scat Pack gets you 630 horsepower or 670 with power shot. Both of these things have insane torque numbers. 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds for the RT, which is not that fast. And 3.3 for the Scat Pack, which is fast.
Yeah.
Scat Pack gets you 260 miles of range. RT gets you 317. Those numbers are fine. I don't know. This is just kind of sad. Both of them have giant Brembo brakes. They're 16-inch calipers. They're huge. It has a brake-by-wire intelligent braking system for optimal force and pedal feedback. The interior is much better than the current Charger interior because the current Charger interior hasn't changed in the entire existence of the car. For the past 10 years, it's been the same. But it has a bunch of new tech now. Flat bottom steering wheel. It looks kind of like the new Mustang.
Yeah, kind of.
And if you thought this was okay, or if you thought it couldn't get worse, depending on who you are, to just push this even further, it has a fake exhaust system that they said will be as loud as a Hellcat.
It's actually an aftermarket sound solution.
If you haven't seen that video we keep referring to, type in F-150 Lightning Borla exhaust. And there's a sales rep for Borla who says it's really more of an aftermarket sound solution.
Should I get one of these for my
And gives
Civic?
the most awkward handshake I've ever seen.
Should I get an aftermarket sound solution for my 4-cylinder Civic?
Yes, because they said it's going to be as loud as a Hellcat.
I just have a V8 crate motor sound
You
coming
just
from my
have
Civic.
speakers mounted, blasting at full volume.
You're right.
Hang on. I have an idea. Can they pull a GMC and can they make those speakers Bluetooth so you can connect to your car's out? I'm serious. Can you connect to your car's outside speakers and have like an amazing sound system wherever you go? That would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
That would actually be a cool feature. Pull up to a tailgate and you have the most insane sound system solution built into your car. I wouldn't buy it, but that would be cool.
If you had this car, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be worth it. It'd be a nice little feature.
So I do kind of hate this thing, but I'd be more than willing to drive one.
So speaking of ridiculous
Did we talk about this last week?
things, I think we brought it up, or maybe it was just a conversation me and you had. But I recently saw this Cybertruck on Facebook Marketplace for $210,000.
which one would think is an outrageous amount of money.
Because these were supposed to launch at like what, 60, 38? Wait, no. Isn't the base model 38 grand?
He said the base model was 39.
Yeah.
Absolutely did not happen.
I mean, no.
Wasn't even close.
Can you buy, how much can you, what's the minimum you buy it from Tesla right now?
I think 59 or somewhere around 50
Hold on, let's just run over here real quick.
is the base model.
Shop available vehicles, Cybertruck, order. All right. Cybertruck, rear-wheel drive, yeah, 5739.
Okay. And the Cyber Beast is 100 grand. Someone bought this, the Foundation series, for 100 grand. They sold this at auction. It went to Manheim in Florida. And this thing sold for $244,000.
That is $250,000
for a $100,000 car. So the markup on the car is more than the actual MSRP of the car.
Yeah. Like by $200,000.
Almost unheard of. And it was sold to Porsche South Orlando, who had it listed for $290,000. Almost triple sticker price. So if you're trying to buy a Cybertruck in the used market, we wish you the very best of luck, because that is insane. Even the Lightning was reselling for $100K, like 20 or 30,000 over sticker, and everyone was amazed at that. 30,000 over sticker is insane, and this is 200,000 over sticker. So yeah, we're based out of DFW. I saw that Manheim auction here in Dallas had one for 190 something thousand. I don't think that's slowing down anytime soon. We get to the last story of the day, which we've teased. We've talked about a possible TikTok ban in past episodes, and we've kind of pushed it aside because it didn't have a lot of backing and there wasn't a lot of proof.
Right, and there was a lot of things that like led up to us not fully agreeing with the ban.
There is a bill right now that would ban Apple and Google from hosting TikTok on the App Store if ByteDance does not sell the company within, I think it's 150 days, 165 days. And this bill unanimously got House panel approval. And if it passes Congress, Joe Biden has already said he would sign this. So we are dangerously close to TikTok actually getting banned unless ByteDance sells it, which I don't think is going to happen. Because as big as TikTok is in America, it's equally as big in China.
Yeah.
ByteDance is making an insane amount of money over there too.
They're also giving out a lot of money to creators. So this isn't just going to hurt ByteDance. It's going to hurt everybody on the platform who is making thousands and thousands of dollars from it.
Right. So we can kind of break our thoughts into two different categories. There's the objective, like creator-focused side of this, which is the cultural impact of TikTok being banned. It'd be crazy. That's kind of the only word.
Yeah.
Like this app has built Gen Z culture, basically. It has started an entire revolution of social media content creation.
If you think about it, Vine started it, really.
Yeah, it has pushed short form video into the mainstream. It has created the TikTok dance trend thing. It has changed the music industry. It has just been so wildly impactful that a ban at this point would be a pretty huge cultural moment.
Yeah. Instagram Reels is about to get way more real.
Instagram Reels would blow up. YouTube Shorts would blow up. So for Google and Meta,
this is great. They're enjoying
really
this.
Great.
They actually planted a bunch of evidence, and it's actually Meta that runs ByteDance over.
It's all Zuck. It's all Mark Zuckerberg.
You mean the robot lizard man from Mars?
Right.
Yeah.
Our more subjective thoughts on this is that this would kind of save Gen Z. Like, would you agree that TikTok as a whole does not make Generation Z a better generation.
It does not make it better in the slightest. I think our attention spans are shortened. That's a fact.
Dude, I can't. Watching YouTube now is different than it
hard.
was
It's almost
5 years ago.
difficult. Like back in middle school, I could sit through a whole lunch period on one video.
Now, if it's not like constantly rapid fire,
Right.
so it's just destroyed the attention span. And then, like, again, the broader cultural TikTok, everything that comes with that platform has created a number of trends that have just completely erased our hopes for humanity as a whole. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't think of a bigger like cultural moment in the past couple of years than TikTok. Like for our generation, there have obviously been bigger world issues, but for our generation, Gen Z, kids like under 25, this is huge if TikTok is banned. I don't know if there are ways around it too. I don't know if you can sideload this.
Because Apple will have their side loading available.
Or you can just use it on the website.
Right, TikTok.com.
TikTok.com.
Well, are they going to, VPN, but is it going to be a region-based site?
No clue. Do not know.
I'm sure it will be. Because that's how VPNs work. Like, you can't watch a movie in a certain country. It's just not available.
iOS 17.4 came out, and you can now sideload apps on the App Store in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That is location locked too. If you leave Europe for more than 2 months, all your sideloaded stuff goes away.
Seriously? Wait, what if I change my region to Europe?
It doesn't do anything because it knows you're not there. You have to actually be there. You can go on vacation. You can go back to America. But if you're there for more than 2 months, all your stuff goes away.
Wow. That's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what the length of this ban would look like. I don't know if it would kick it off the App Store. I don't know what the website regulation would be.
I'm sure you wouldn't be able to go to the website without a VPN.
So VPN sales would shoot up.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, you could probably do a web app on your phone with a VPN and you could get it. But that is more work than a lot of Gen Zers are willing to put in. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If it gets to Joe's desk and it's signed, we will collectively lose our minds.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe we'll get our minds back.
Or maybe we'll get them back. Or most likely, we'll get them back. We'll all have to go outside.
And touch grass.
And touch the grass.
Like you should do while you're waiting for our next episode.
You should. You should go outside.
You should go outside.
Tech is great. But every now and then, you do need to put down the TikTok and go outside.
Stop listening to your Borla sound solutions.
You can listen to this podcast when you're outside.
Outside.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just be outside.
Actually, you can just listen to it whenever you want.
It's good. It's good for us. It's good for you.
It's just good information. Yeah.
Sit in your complete built backyard while you listen to us, and life will be great.
So that is it for episode 58 of Control-AC. If you have any questions, comments, or
would like to send us a charger
with a Borla sound solution,
aftermarket
sound solution, or a Tesla Roadster, you can tweet at us. I am at ColeWWWeb.
I am at Utterly Drew.
And we will see you in the next episode.
Bye, y'all.